Hello, Ammirata. I'm out here a little bit early. We will start here in just a little bit. Sitting here with my yarn. We'll start at 8, but I always like to come on just a little bit earlier. I'm having a storm here. So I like to come on a little bit earlier, give everybody a chance. Hello, Melanie, the other Melanie. It's good to see you. I saw some of your posts. I think you said you're a musician as well, I believe. So I'm glad to have you. You're a lender. I am kin to some lendlers. It's just got an L in it, so you're close. Good to have you. I'm going to do my best to walk us through this tonight. Hey, Sherry. Good evening. Sherry, I hope you saw the welcome post for you was down in an earlier one. You probably just didn't realize it. There are, fortunately, we have so many wonderful women that are joining us that when I received the membership, there's so many, and it's exciting. And when I do the post, the acceptance and the welcome post, there's a lot of people in that group. So I found you, Sherry. You were just down in a different one. So I'm sorry we wouldn't leave any of y'all out. I really tried to welcome everybody because everybody is important. So, and I'm glad to have you. Glad to have you all. Yeah. If you look down on the, it's hard to scroll down through. I think it was a June 14th or June 16th. I think it was June 14th post where your name was in there. I saw it. Oh, your mom was. That's right. I remember that now. Okay, Melanie. And you used to sing. You still sing. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. About fibromyalgia. You know, I went through kind of a time period when, I don't know if it was fibromyalgia, but I had body aches all over. And it lasted for a couple of years. And it even hurt. It hurt to even touch my skin. And, but that only lasted for a while. And I came out of it. So, and trying to think I don't know if it was just stress or lack of sleep, things like that put our bodies, you know, into some type of a mode that we get sick. So glad y'all are out here. Just a few more minutes. Let a couple more people get on because our actual start time is 8 o'clock. So just a few more minutes. But tonight we're just going to go over this. This is my yarn. I'm going to make my little blanket for myself. And I am not an expert at this. And that's the good thing. You do not have to be an expert. You can be a beginner. You don't ever have to have done any type of craft to do this. So we're going to go over it. You can do it with me, or you can just replay this later. Yes, Sherry, that would be very difficult, very challenging. But thank you for taking care of your mother-in-law. That is an especially giving heart. So she's lucky to have you. I tell you, when our family, when they go through things, it affects us, doesn't it? It affects us in so many different ways. Hey, Judy. Yeah, yes, Melanie, that's good. I noticed, Melanie, when I started, and I need to be better at this. I'm not an expert at this, but cutting out processed foods, try some things like that. As far as I notice when I stay away from fried foods, which there's a lot of fried foods when you live in the South. Stay away from processed foods and eat things that are really like, you know, green beans, Always eat things that are green. Eat some raw foods every day, like an apple. I notice I feel better, even mentally. So I need to get back to that because today I had Mexican. So I had several tortilla chips. Didn't I, babe? My husband's sitting over here. Tammy Green is watching. Let me wave at you. Michelle is watching. Hello, Michelle. So glad you're here. I think it's about time to start. Is it 8 o'clock? Yes, it is. So we're going to start. Well, I wanted tonight, sometimes we have such heavy topics and we really talk about some really intense subjects. I thought tonight we'd just keep it light. And this is just going to be fun. So you can just kind of join in with me. If you got your yarn, if you didn't get your yarns, no big deal. You can go and get it later, or maybe you don't ever want to do it. That's fine too. You just want to watch. But I have found that sometimes, even I would say when I'm going through stressful things, that just making something, creating something that I can see. Because I know a lot of times we seem to do a lot of cleaning or organizing or keeping up, just trying to keep up with our day, cooking and that sort of stuff, you just don't see. It goes away. And yeah, you might see a clean house, but how long does that last, right? A couple days, maybe, if you're lucky. But when you make something, you create something, there is something about it that is rewarding. It's fulfilling. And you have it. You always have it around. And this blanket, that with this particular yarn that I got, this was just very inexpensive yarn, is very soft. It's kind of heaviness to it. So if you're one of those people that needs a little bit of weight on you as you sleep, and this is the perfect thing to get and to make. You can make it as big or as long as you want. I bought 6 of these, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to make 6 of them. I mean, use all 6 yarn, and that'll be it. So whatever it makes, it makes. So, but the one I have a purple one. I made it with 9. I made it big, and that's going to be my husband's, and this is going to be mine. And this color right here it's a beautiful color. It's kind of a blue-green, maybe a little minty. It reminds me of one of my favorite paint colors is called Rain, and it looks like that. It looks like rain, like what you'd say. And it's raining right now here in South Carolina. So anyway, we're going to get started. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and rip this thing off. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, so I'll be talking, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm just going to take this apart and then just unwrap it a little bit. Sometimes I just kind of throw it down. But what we're going to do, the first step is you make a knot. You make a loop really, but you have to start with like a knot. So I just wrap it around my hand and then pull it through. You just pull that through and make your loop. I've got a little bit of a tail. You can make it a little bit shorter if you want to. Doesn't matter. But you want your loop. You're going to make a chain. This is so easy, y'all, because all it is just looping. You want this chain, when you get these loops made, you want these bigger than the rest of what you're going to actually knit. It's just easier because I've noticed that if you get these holes too small, it's very hard to get it. It makes the bottom of your blanket very tight. So think of your blanket being square or rectangular. Sometimes it can make it very short and tight on this end. So just remember to make these loops bigger. So you just start with the one loop. I'm going to pull that, and then you just take this yarn and you just pull another one through. Make it kind of big like I'm doing, and I'm going to do 30. That's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 17. I'm at 20. $29, $30. All right, so it looks just like a chain, doesn't it? And my stitches, they're not perfect, they're not exact, they're just made. And this is what it looks like. This is what I've got. So now, since we've got 30 loops, this is really about what it's going to look like on that one side. So all I do now is I'm going to go back the other direction. So I just take and I pull back through. So let's see if you can see this. So I loop back through my end one. All right, and then I'm going to find my next loop. Let's see. Actually, I think I'm going to go back this direction. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm pulling through here. To me, this is the most difficult part, is once you've got your chain, it's going back through each hole. So I've got to go back through each hole. And this is probably, maybe it's not going to look so neat and so pretty. In the very beginning, it kind of looks like is this ever going to look like a blanket? It just looks like a bunch of thread with no order. But believe me, it will begin to form. So just pulling it through. All I'm doing is just pulling a loop through, making a loop. So I'll have to dig my finger in to the hole, digging it in, and I'm pulling the thread out. And I'm still pulling mine out pretty good, pretty wide. So I'm going into the loop, pulling the thread out, continuing that. Just keep finding the next loop, pull it through. Next one, pull it through. After I get it pulled through the chain, it will start going much better, much easier. I know when I start this, it doesn't seem to have a lot of uniformity. And it takes me doing this, sitting here doing it for a little bit to kind of get a rhythm going. So just do the best you can. And don't worry about trying to be so exact and so perfect on how big your stitch is, because the more you do it, it just takes a little bit of doing. Your stitches will become much more uniform. And plus, as the blanket grows itself, it just becomes much easier to work with than like this part. This part's a little bit, a little bit, I won't say tedious, but you just kind of keep having to fool with it, mess with it. So I keep turning this chain, and so that I can hopefully be working from the right side of it. So this will be, I'm almost through. So let's see, you go all the way to the very first loop that you made. Let's see, I got one more loop. All right. So you look at it, it just looks like a bunch of, that's it upside down. You can tell my stitches are not exactly perfect. But as you begin to do this, it gets more and more consistent and uniform. So now I'm going to go back the other way. So I just take my thread and I move it back. It is easier. And if you watch that video, I put a video out there that I followed, and it's on the Facebook, it's on our group somewhere down below. It's Play Hooky with Me. She shows exactly how she does it, but it is easier if you lay the thread in the direction that you're going. So that now I'm going on the next row. Let's see, so I have, so your last loop, make sure that you come back through it again, because you're making the next row. Sometimes it's easy to kind of forget that. So now I'm just going to, I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And this fabric, it feels so good. It's so soft. This is just some sort of like, I think, a polyester cotton blend. And I'm pretty sure it's machine washable and all that good stuff. But if you like, you can buy the chenille. Now that would be really nice in this blanket. They have chenille. You can get it from Hobby Lobby. And you can get some really, really pretty colors of the chenille I've seen. So all I'm doing is I'm continuing to feed this. And I was watching the lady on the Play Hooky with Me, and she said she can do a blanket in about an hour and a half. And you say, well, I couldn't do it that quick. Well, you couldn't do your first one. But I will tell you that once you get the chain made and you get your first row, because your first row really is kind of the hardest to do. Once you get the first one done, it starts going fast, because look how fast I can just pull that through. Just make sure your loops, try to get them all in the same direction. And like I say, if you don't, it's okay. You know, you're probably going to end up, if you make one of these, you'll make another one. Because this is like my third one I've made. And I think the yarn is what, I believe $7, and there's 6 of them, so it's about $42 is what it costs. And maybe able to get some of it half off sometimes. You know, Hobby Lobby will have that half off deal. They run all the time. Let's see. Where am I at? That. And then when I get to the end, that looks a little bit off. I'm not really sure why that is. Let's see. Let's make sure I've got that right. I think that's it though. That's right. Alright, so I pull that through, and I pull it through again because I'm starting the next row. So just remember, when you get to the end of the row, remember that you have to turn it, make another one to go back the other way. Alright. So I'm doing that one. And definitely my stitches are not most perfect, beautiful, uniform, exact. They're just not. But it's okay. Now I do want to say this, and I'm going to stop here for just a little bit and talk to you. While you're doing this, before you get too far, every once in a while, you need to take this and flip the back over and look and make sure that you haven't dropped a stitch, because sometimes there can be, on the very back, you'll be able to tell that we've missed a loop. That can happen. It will probably happen. And when you do that, I just typically go and pull it out and redo. So try not to go too far in without checking the back. if you want to kind of cheat a little bit, one thing you could do is, if you didn't want to have to pull it out and you realize, oh my goodness, I dropped a stitch, you can actually take needle and thread and then go and just tuck it in there and tie it up so you don't see that big loop on the side. And it'll be obvious if you dropped a loop. It'll be obvious that you missed it. So, but you can do a little other things to kind of camouflage that. So, but I've dropped the loop several times on the last one that I made, and I had to pull it out and go back and do it again. But work on this week if you're able to, and we'll work on it more next week, next Tuesday. And if you get to the very end, hey Jill, you get to the very end and you want to know how you end it, you can go and watch that video, the same one that Play Hooky with me. You just need to make bigger loops on your last row. So if you get to that point, I'll work on mine a little bit. I won't be to the point of being through, but I will work on it some. And in fact, I may be just not much more than this. I'm gonna work on a little bit more tonight. I'll work on it, but let's see what we get. And I'd love to see your pictures, even your start. Just post on the site so we can cheer each other on. And you know, we're doing something. It's productive. It's something that you can see, something that you have, and you really are going to love it when you do it. So go and get your yarn if you haven't gotten it. Let me see the name of this. The one I've got, you can buy yarn if you want to on Amazon, so you don't even have to go shopping for it. But this is Yarn Bee. The color is called Spa Blue, the one I've got. But they had it in purple, and it was a beautiful purple. It was a woody purple. They had an orange, a cinnamon color, which was beautiful, which we got. And I think they had a cream and maybe a yellow and a burgundy and a blue too. But the chenille had like a, that beautiful blue-green color that I love. They had that. They had a gold, which I thought, man, that gold would be beautiful in chenille. So if you want to get something like that and you want to order it from Amazon, that would be so easy to do. You probably could order it online at Walmart, and then as long as you're willing to wait a couple of days, you could just go in and do the pickup thing that they have, which is so nice when everything's already picked and ready for you. You just go and get it. I really like that. So this is, there are different weights. You don't have to get this weight. This one is a, let's see, so many ounce, it tells me. It says 8 ounce. Well, that's the ounces of the. There's usually a size to this, and I'm looking for that. This one's 28 yards. I don't know. I don't even see that. There's usually some sort of like descriptor that tells you kind of what you're working with, because this just says use 25 millimeter hook, but it's a big yarn. It's really big. And it's very easy to work with your hands. And look how much progress that I've already made just sitting here. I mean, really, if you wanted to make something like a scarf, we'd just about be done. We'd have a few more rows and we'd be done. So there are different kinds of yarn that you can get, but I do want to precaution you. I have seen that yarn that's real, almost furry like. I tried to work with that one time. That was hard because I couldn't see the loops very good. It's hard to find where to put my fingers. So just be careful. When you have it like this, it's very easy to even tie the knot when you have to knot your next roll of yarn. It was very easy to do with this. So you will need a pair of scissors, because you are going to have to knot it and clip it when you go to your next roll. So whenever you get yarn, make sure you got some good old clippers that you can cut it with. But I think that's it. Just your yarn and just some little bit of time, a little bit of patience with yourself. So I hope y'all are doing great. This weekend, I'm going to be coming to y'all live from New York. We're going to be in New York. We're going to be celebrating, just for a short period of time, celebrating our daughter's 18th birthday. We decided just to fly up there real quick. That's our family vacation this year that we are blessed to be able to take. So I'm going to be coming to you live. I don't exactly know where I'll be or the time, but I will let you know, and I want you to join me. And if possible, and if it's okay with y'all, I can come, I can do some random lives and just show you where I'm at and what's going on. But I travel, my husband and I pretty much travel for, what would you say, Lynn? We travel using points. So we travel as inexpensively as possible. So we save a lot by just using our hotel points. We have points for air travel, and we use those. That's the way that we are able to enjoy these. So I love y'all. Get out there and get you some yarn. Please post your pictures, even if you just started. I want to see what your colors you picked out. So I will see y'all Saturday, and the time will be announced. Love y'all. You have a wonderful evening. Hey, Beverly.